Greetings of the day. Myself, Mrs. Chitra Sharma, Assistant Professor with AISSM, CHM City College of Hotel Management, Shivaji Nagar, Pune. Today, my subject is hotel law, and the topic which I will be covering for this presentation is essential elements of contract, which is one of the second most important topic for Indian Contract Act. What is the essential elements? When we say essential elements, means there are few foundation for an Indian contract act which is very essential and mandatory, otherwise the contract doesn't stand any value. The objective of essential element of a valid contract is business is an essential part of a conducting worldwide, as it defines the relation between two or more individual or business entities that come together for a common purpose to achieve their business targets for making profit in a lawful manner. The 9 elements of the contract act are: first one is offer and acceptance, the second one is intention to create a legal relationship, the third one is consequence ad idem, that means meeting or identity of minds, the fourth one is consideration, the fifth one is capacity to contract, the sixth one is free consent, the seventh one is legality of the object, the eighth one is a possibility of the performance, and the last, the ninth one, is writing and registration of the contract. Now let us see what is a free consent, or which is also known as offer. According to the Indian Contract Act, under Indian Contract Act section 2A, when a person is made a proposal and when he signifies to another his willingness to do or abstain from doing so. For example, if Mr. A wants to start a fast food truck joint, he is ready to invest in that, but he wants a skilled person to be part of his business. So he offers his idea to Mr. B, who is a skillful person in this business, and if that is known as an offer, where he is sharing his idea, and where if Mr. B agrees, then they come into contract. That is known as free consent. The second one is acceptance. According to section 2b, when a person is made a proposal to another to whom the proposal is made, if the proposal is assented thereto, it is called acceptance. That means acceptance means accepting a proposal. That means acceptance. If A has offered him to do a business and B has accepted his, that means it is a acceptance. There are certain rules for acceptance, like acceptance must be given as per the mode prescribed by the offerer. The way Mr. A wants his business to be accepted in certain format, in certain writing thing, or in a certain stamp paper, the B has to submit him back in the same way. Acceptance must be given before the lapse of time or within a reasonable time. A might give Mr. B certain time like 7 days or 8 days. Within that time, the B has to accept, otherwise the offer goes to some other person. Acceptance must be unconditional, because A is being the founder of the business. B can't put his conditions in the business. B can put his clause but not condition. Acceptance must be given by any person in case of general offer. For example, like World Cup is going to come in India, and acceptance offer is given to different hotels for giving their quotation for the teams to stay. So the hotel has to give their offer at what rate they can offer the room rates to the hotel, to the BCCI, and at what all they can include in that, and how much discount or complimentary can be given. This is a general offer. Acceptance may be given by a specific person in case of special offer, specific offer. Like whenever the cricket team comes to Pune, they usually stay in Taj. So Taj has a contract with the BCCI for staying off of the Indian cricket team. So this is especially for Indian cricket team. BCCI already has booked, have a contract with Taj Group of hotels for the cricketers staying. Acceptance must be communicated. It has to be communicated. Silence can't be accepted. It has to be communicated very well, clearly, whatever doubts, whatever clauses are there. Mental acceptance is no acceptance, or acceptance must not be derived from silence. If somebody person says that B, like for example, if B thinks, okay, I will accept this offer, this is not acceptable, it has to be communicated to A. If he thinks on his own, on his mind, that is not acceptance. And any acceptance from silence can't be taken as for contract. Acceptance must not be present to an offer. Acceptance must not be limited to an area or a specific place. Now let us see what is consideration. According to section 2D, consideration is defined when at the desire of the promiser or promisee or any other person has done or abstained from doing is known as consideration. It might be in cash, kind, act or absenteeism, or maybe in past, present or future. It should be unlawful, immoral and against the public policy. That means consideration being an essential element of valid contract, which is the value or benefit of both the parties. It is a price for which the promise of the other is brought. A contract without lawful consideration is known as void. The consideration can be in the form of anything like money, service rendered, good exchange, or sacrifice for which the value of the other party is done. Like A has the money to invest in the business, but B has the skill. So B is not investing anything, but B is investing his skill and his business practice in the business. So that is a way of consideration. There are certain legal rules to consideration. It must move at the desire of the promiser. Promiser, the person who makes the initiative. It may move by the promisee also in certain clauses. It can be for past, present, or future. It may not be adequate, then we can take a third partner. It must be real. It must not be illegal, immoral, or opposed to public policy. What is a competent parties? Competent parties are a person who must be legally competent in the partition of the business. Like he should not be minor, he should be of a very sound mind and not expressly disqualified from contracting. A person of sound mind is one who is able to understand the proposal and rationally evaluate the keeping interest in the mind. Here, if the partners are not of a sound mind, they can't take a correct decision, so the other person can take advantage of it. In India, the minors don't have much of the rules or authority. So if a minor in any case is a partner, a major has to have the power of attorney to attestate it. Now let us see what is a free consent. Free consent implies that parties must agree about the subject matter of agreement in the same sense as it is proposed, without any ambiguity at the same time, which is a consequent addendum, meaning that meeting of minds between two parties are subject matter of agreement. Free consent means both the parties should be thinking in the same line. They should have identity of mind. A business can't run in two direction if the partners don't have equal thinking and same thinking. So there might be there might come a clause or agitation in the future, so there has to be ambiguity and transparency in the business. Now let us see what is a legal consideration. The legal consideration is something, the object of agreement must be lawful. If agreement is unlawful, it is illegal, it is immoral, fraudulent and in nature. If it is permitted, it would defeat the provision. If we are doing any unlawful thing, the parties don't stand any chance in the court of law in future clashes. So it should be very, very lawful and it has to be registered in the court of law. The not expressly declared void. What does we mean not expressly declared void? There are certain agreements in India which is it is done on the basis of force, which is not enforceable by law. The Contract Act declares the following types of agreement is expressly void. That means agreement to restrain, to marriage. There are certain places when, for example, it is like somebody doesn't want to do a business, or somebody doesn't want to get married to that person, but due to certain force or due to certain pressure they get to marry. That is against law. Agreement in restraint to trade, profession or business. Like certain places, there are some person doesn't want to be part of that business, but due to some force, due to some uh, heavy pressure or due to some political pressure, they do that business. So this is also against the law. Agreement in restraint of legal proceeding. There is certain parties where there is a legal case has been filed against some person and that person is not for it, but if the person is right and a legal case has been filed against him, then that person won't go for the legal proceedings. Agreement of having certain meaning, uncertain meaning. The business has to be very very transparent. We say for business something and the meaning comes out something else, which is a very fraudulent case, so that can also lead to the void of the contract. Wagering agreement, at the time of appointment, if some person has been given some salary as appointment, but when he's getting a salary and he's been taken signature on the salary slip, some other amount is paid to him, that is known as wagering of agreement. Legal formalities, there are a contract can be either in oral or writing, but there are certain types of contract which has to be in writing and even may require registration. Compulsory registrations of under section 17 of registration act of 1902 is required in the case of gift of immovable party. Like if somebody is gifting you a building or flat or plot or apartment or anything which is an immovable party property, it has to be registered under the act of 1902. Usually registration takes place as per the value of the property, but to start off with, also for the initial stages also, they can do on a stamp paper of 100 rupees, which has to be notary's registration has to be done, and it has to be registered in the court of law. Thank you. There is a link given in the description box of the video which you can attempt, and if you have any further queries or any doubt, you can get back to me on my email ID which is given in the first slide of the presentation. These notes have been, presentation has been done with the help of this hotel law which has been authored by Mr. Amitabh Devendra of Oxford Publication. Thank you so much. Have a great learning.